JFD personnel, this is our new one boat inflatable. It comes with a 30 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury engine, and this one's a little bit different than what we have before. So I just want to look at some of the buttons that this one does. The main thing is this feature right here. I don't know if Matt can zoom in on that. There is a lock is down and free is up. So what that means is this motor, unlike the Evinrude on the old one, you can lock this in positions so it doesn't have to be all the way up or all the way down. So you can go all the way up, and there's a hydraulic assist, so it's not as heavy. And then say if the water is really shallow, you don't want to run all the way down like that like you had to in the Evinrude, you can put it up a little bit, lock it in place. Now that motor will stay right there until you unlock it. So you find whatever position you want it to be in, and you very well may be running it down in deeper water. Whatever case, whenever it's in the position, even if it's all the way down, you still need to lock it in place. If you don't have it locked, it will go down like that. You'll be able to drive away, but as soon as you hit reverse or full throttle, that motor will kick up by itself like that, which is pretty dangerous. So just make sure, lock position, whatever position you end up putting the motor into. This other feature right here, you might have seen this lock. That's for maintenance. So if you have the motor all the way up, you push that down and lock it in place so that it won't fall. When this boat is in transit, you may have seen, guys have seen that have boats, or you've seen boats on the highway, some boats will be locked up like that. It's actually not what's recommended. Motors are supposed to be in the most downward position possible as long as there's clearance. But this boat, there's plenty of clearance, so the motor should be transported in a downward position. Right here, you'll see is a throttle only button. What that does is on cold days or whatever, if you want it to warm up, you push that throttle only button in, it'll lock in, and you can start the motor and give it throttle without it being in gear. As soon as you go back into neutral, it will automatically kick that out, and then if you go back into gear, you'll now be in motion. When you start this motor, it doesn't start on the first try. Basically, the first pull primes the unit, so expect it to start on usually the second to fourth pull. It is a 4-stroke, so it's quite a bit quieter. It runs smoother. Your throttle handle here, up and down to whatever comfort level you like, and it's just a simple forward, neutral, reverse, very similar to the Evinrude we have over there on the floor. This button right here, or knob I should say, is a tension knob, so you can just turn that, and what that does is makes this stiffer or looser when you spin it to whatever comfort level you are. We should probably just set it, it'll probably be set right there. It's not something that you need to do, but just so you're aware, if you're wondering what that does, now you know. Kill switch lanyard. When you're operating, your driver should have this either wrapped around the wrist and locked on, so if you fall out of the boat, that'll come down and it'll shut this to the off position, killing the motor. Another thing to be aware of is if you're starting this motor and it's not starting, ensure that this wasn't tripped into the off position during transit, or if somebody was in here putting fuel in the boat and they might have bumped that. So always make sure that that's in the run position when you're trying to start the motor. And then this lanyard just sits on there like that. And if you pull it out, it kills it. So again, this is a 4-stroke, so just premium fuel, no oil mix, so premium fuel. 6-gallon tank will be in the boat, strapped in. Does have a gauge on it, which is kind of nice. And just like the other one, you prime it before starting, and it may or may not be hooked up ahead of time. If you need to hook it up, come over on this side, man. If you need to hook it up, or if it's unhooked, just rerun that cable through the middle. We found that if you run it to the side here, it bites into here and could cause some excessive wear on this fuel tube. So if you could just run it up through the middle of the motor and then clip it in and it locks in place. There's 6 chambers, air chambers on this boat. You have one here, you have one here, the front tube, and then side, and then the floor tube. It comes with a foot pump, which will be in the boat right here. And then you'll see on the sides here, you'll see these hookups. Right next to the relief valve, there is a hookup to pump up that section of tubing. So there's, again, 6 of those. 1, 2, we got one on the front here, one under this bag here for the floor. You can see that. And then opposite side. This bag here is just clipped in. This will hold life jackets and helmets and whatnot. The strobe light, or the green lights for the front, red lights for the front. Other than that, you got an oar in here. These seats also, this is kind of a cool feature. You have this out on the water already. It's very nice to be able to sit on that, center your weight when you're driving. But it's not always practical when you're trying to get victims in or whatnot. So if you want to take these seats out, they're really simple. They just come out like that. It's just like a C channel, whatever, clip on them. Same thing, put them back in, just hook one side, squeeze it, put it right back in. All aluminum seats, all aluminum floor. It's fairly light. It's a little bit heavier than the other Zodiac we had. The motor's heavier. It does have more zip. The trailer is a bunk trailer, meaning it's not a roller like our dive boat. So if you back it in without the straps on, it's not going to fall off the trailer. Unless you're going really fast, I suppose, then it might. But you can just unhook these straps right here. These are quick straps. So you just push this button on the bottom. It will retract in. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, these 2 gray buttons, they say release. You push them, they'll lock in, lift it up, releases down. There's also a hookup on the front. Now this is important to know. So this is more of a just securing it, the safety. The weight of it will hold on the trailer. What we don't want to do is you don't want to crank that up and pull the boat up by using this winch, because what it is, we've already noticed it can do is it can tear, and it's already starting to just show there. You can tear this out if you try to pull up all that weight. You see how it stretches right there. So get the boat up as far as you can, either by hand or by power loading it on, meaning driving it on if you're comfortable doing that. Once you get up to these stoppers, you're good. And then hook this up, and then just simply wind it up until it's got just a little bit of slack in it, enough where it won't fall off. To rehook up the back, just simply pull them up there like that, lock it in, and then you see the release one that we pushed in back there. You're going to pull that forward, you hear it click, and then just grab the back of this ratchet strap right here. There's a lever on the back. I don't know if you can see that from the underneath. But you just grab that, and it ratchets it on, and then you just want them so they're tight. All right. If you have any questions with this boat, feel free to contact myself, Jack Morris, Zimborski, Seth Bennington, any of those guys. Any other ships should be able to help out with any questions you may have. Other than that, it's pretty much ready to go. We have a little bit of break-in to do as of October 2017 when we're making this video, but it will be ready shortly. Thanks for listening.